gets angry, the same mother becomes irritable, the same mother starts to hit, yell at the child like anything. And then we feel guilty. And when we feel guilty, again we promise ourselves that from tomorrow I'm not going to do this. Again we do that. Again we do same things. Again we feel guilty. Again we promise. How many of you are stuck in this cycle? Type S for stuck in the chat box. And you're not able to come out of this cycle because there is no guidance, there is no one to listen to you, there is no accountability, and there is no structure in the information. Yeah, and at any point, a child don't deserve angry, irritated, and frustrated mother. We are doing so much for our child. We are giving them good education. We are sacrificing our happiness, right? To give one thing, we are just, to give the benefit of one thing, we are harming them from our emotions, from our behavior, right? And when these two things are happening hand by hand, your child cannot grow. Now, let's say, for example, Mehak, I'll just take you as an example. Let's say I'm just irritated, I'm frustrated, I'm yelling at you all the time, I'm shouting, I'm hitting, and I'm not able to, understand you, I'm comparing you, I'm using all the negative labels. Will your confidence increase or will your confidence decrease? If it will increase, type I for increase. If it will decrease, type D for decrease. I want everyone to give the answer. Yeah, it will definitely decrease. Right? So now just for the sake of other people, we are damaging our relationship with our child. We are damaging our own body. Right? So please give a pause and please breathe. Breathe for a minute and then react to it, then respond to any situation. Right? And now, how many of you feel that this self improvement is very important? If you feel, type SI in the chat box. That is, I need to improve myself. I need to first manage my anger. I need to first manage my frustration. Yeah. Thank you so much. Now, second pillar of your child's brain development is your child's emotional and physical development. Now, first, let's see what challenges that we are facing with our child, right? So the challenges that we are facing is lot of tantrums and emotional outburst, not listening, ignoring instructions, stubbornness, picky eating, or, food refusal. Child only eats while, watching the screen, or I can say hyperactivity and shouting and clinginess, separational anxiety and crying too much, and challenges with teenager. How many of you are going through many of these challenges? If you're going through many of these challenges, type many in the chat box. If you're going through, some of these challenges, type some in the chat box. Right? Child is throwing continuous tantrums, is hitting, yelling, not ready to listen, not ready to study, not ready to eat, is hyperactive, is clinging to you, right? So if you're going through many of these challenges, type many. If you're going through some of these challenges, type some in the chat box, right? Now, these are the challenges that we are facing with our child. Now, let's understand the root cause of these challenges, right? So the first root cause is our anger. Now, just because we are not able to manage our own situation, we get angry. Just because our child is not listening and our energy is not good, our energy is very low because of all the drama that is happening around us, we end up losing on our child. So how many of you are hitting, yelling, or shouting at your child? If you're hitting, yelling, shouting, type me in the chat box, and please be honest in the chat box. No one can see your chat. Don't worry. For that reason, I have kept chat towards me so that it will be confidential. Yeah, thank you so much for being honest. There's so many mothers right now hitting, yelling, shouting. Now, I just want to ask one question. Do you feel good after hitting your child or after yelling at your child? If you feel good, type yes. If no, then type no in the chat box. Yeah, definitely no. And if you're not feeling good, why don't you go out? Why don't you go and learn that how to manage your own anger? We are ready to learn about dance. We are ready to learn about baking. We are ready to learn about driving. But we are not ready to learn how to manage our own anger because that anger is hurting our own child. The child which we kept in our womb for 9 months. We went through so much pain, mood swings, hormonal changes, postpartum depression. We went through so much just to bring this one child into this world. And for the same now, for the just because now we are not able to manage our anger, emotions, we are hurting that same child. And do you know what? When we get angry, the child's amygdala, which is fear center, gets activated, and your child's prefrontal cortex gets blocked, gets shut. It's shut down. And this prefrontal cortex is responsible for learning, concentration, and understanding, focus. Right? And when you yell at your child, hit your child, this part gets, shut down, this parts get shut down, and this parts get activated. And then you feel that, hey, why my child is not able to understand me? Hey, why my child is not listening to me? Your child is not able to listen to you, understand you, focus in studies because their logical brain is not working right now because of the anger, because of the frustration inside that is inside the home. Right? So at any point, we are not going to get angry on our child. I know it's not that easy. I know you're getting angry because of, what is happening with you, with what your in-laws is doing with you, with what your husband is doing with you, your childhood trauma, no matter what it is. But at any point, we don't have any right to hit our child. How many of you feel that your child don't deserve your anger? If you feel your child don't deserve your anger, type D for deserve in the chat box. That is, my child don't deserve my anger. My child deserve my love. My child deserve my support. My child deserve my appreciation. Yeah. And now just because we are angry, our child is not able to manage their own emotions. The stress hormone is all over the body, right? The fear is all over the body. Now, even if you want your child to study, to sit, to concentrate, they cannot do it because their brain is not supporting them. Now, instead of supporting them, instead of understanding them, instead of understanding their phase, we end up losing on our child. Now, how many of you are ready to feel your child's emotion? If you're ready to feel, type feel in the chat box. That yes, I am able to feel my child's pain. Because of me, my child is suffering. Right? And the second root cause is experimenting. Right? We are just asking our friend, what should I do? We are just going on the free information. There is no structure. And we are just experimenting with our child. करके देखती हूँ चलेगा कि नहीं चलेगा. Your child is not science project where you will do experiments with your child. Right? The mother who knows better will definitely do better. Right? I am not saying that if you not learn, your child is not going to excel. Definitely your child may excel, may not excel. But if you learn, I can give you a guarantee that 1000% your child will do better than other child. And this is only possible when you will learn. And if you'll keep experimenting, if you'll be depending on the traditional parenting, nothing is going on. I'm not saying that traditional parenting is not good. Definitely the values that we got from our grandparents, from our parents is very important. But we cannot stop there because world is changing. The generation is changing. We need to learn and be one step ahead of our child. So how many of you are ready to be one step ahead of your child? Type ready in the chat box. That is, I want to be one step ahead. Right? I want to be ready. Because understand, for example, you have decided to drive a car. You decided to drive. Now, will you go and learn about driving, or will all of a sudden you will take a car and will start driving? If you will learn, type learn in the chat box. If you'll start driving, directly type D for driving in the chat box. Yeah, definitely we will learn. Why? Because if we will not learn, a lot of accidents are going to happen. And this is what we are doing with our parenting journey. Now, just because we are not learning, we are going through a lot of accidents, which is tantrums, hyperactivity, speech delay, screen time issue, child not listening, child giving back answers, disrespecting, shouting, throwing things. These are all the accidents of in the parenting journey. If this is making sense, put MS in the chat box. And I feel that each government should, put this parenting topic in graduation itself, because we have the responsibility of the next generation, right? And we will learn about parenting in graduation itself. Our life will be super easy. If you feel your life will be super easy, type SE in the chat box that yes, my life will be super easy. Yeah. So I don't want, at any point, I don't want you to experiment. I want you to learn. Right? Because some of you will say that, I don't have money to learn, and I can truly understand you. I'll just give you one simple example. How we take our self-esteem down, right? Now, let's say a child will ask you for, for a toy. You will be very free and very okay to give that toy to your child. If this is true, type true in the chat box. And just because we don't feel that we deserve to learn, we are not investing in our learning. right? Now I'll give you one simple example. A mother from my community shared that my child wanted 3,000 rupees toy, which was Lego toy, right? Lego. And now he started to cry, he started to create mess, he he was not eating food, right? That mother had to give the Lego game. And did you know what that child do? That child opened the game, played that game for a day, and then he never looked at that game. How many of you have experienced this type? If you experienced in the chat box. But instead of doing all these things, if we would have invested in learning and we would have learned that how to guide our child in a better way so that we'll not have to face all these challenges. We have gone through all these things. Our child asks for Legos, our child asks for toys, our child asks for cycle, our child asks for so many things. But they'll play for 1 or 2 days and then they'll not even look at them. Right? So I'm not saying that don't give any toys. Definitely, more than toy, I feel that your toy of your child. So I don't give too many toys to my child, and I don't suggest any of my community members to bring too many toys, because I know for the fact that the child is only going to play with that toy for a day or for 2 days, and after that they are not even going to look at that toy, right? So instead of experimenting, I want you to be a learning mother. So how many of you are ready to be a learning mother? Type LM in the chat box, right? And another root cause that our child is suffering physically and emotionally is because we are so much focused on free information from YouTube, free information from Instagram, free information from Google, and we are not, learning from right source. And just because we are not learning from the right source, we are facing challenges. Now, will you go to a doctor who has learned, who has taken his degree from Instagram? If yes, type yes in the chat box. If no, then type no in the chat box. And I can give you a guarantee, no patient would have come to me if I would have taken the degree on YouTube. I get so many patients, I get so many counseling, clients, because I've learned through a proper system. Now, you don't put your child into a Instagram university or a Facebook university to learn. You enroll your child into school. If you agree, type A for agree in the chat box. Then what can make us think that we will learn from all this free information and parent our child? Right? Now, just because we are focused on free information, our child is suffering emotionally and physically. Right? There is obesity, too much fast food, so many challenges that we are facing with our child. So these are the root cause because of which a child is suffering emotionally and physically. There are many root cause, but I have mentioned the main root cause. Now let's understand the formula, how to deal with the emotional and physical development of our child, how to help them to, grow emotionally and physically, right? So the first thing, understand whatever your child is doing is coming through emotions, right? And how you react to that emotions is going to decide the outcome, right? And now from where this emotion is coming, from the belief that your child is having, right? Now your child will have 100,000 belief, right? And now through that belief the emotions is going to come. Around that belief there will be a emotions, and through emotions the child will give a behavior where you will respond or react, and how you respond or react to the emotions is going to decide the outcome of your child. Let me give you one simple example, right? Now let's say your child is having this belief. Now I'll give you one simple example from my own life. Now everyone used to say my child that, don't eat this, otherwise your mom will scold you. Don't eat that, otherwise your mom will scold you. Don't. And I never scold my child for this unnecessary things. But still, family members, relatives used to say this just to avoid him to eat those things, right? Now what this was the belief of my child, that if I eat, my mom will scold me, right? And now when this belief formed, emotion came around it. The emotions were of scared, or he started, he was scared to share with me. So when he came and shared with me, how I responded made the difference and changed the belief of the child. I was like, wow, what color the chocolate was, how was the chocolate, you didn't share the chocolate with me, I'm feeling so bad. And then the belief of my child was broken. How many of you feel this is wow type wow in the chat box? In this way, we need to learn that how to change our child's belief, because through this belief, emotions are coming around it. And when they show the emotions like tantrums, hitting, throwing, crying, how we respond makes the difference. And I know it's not that easy to respond in a better way every time, because we are also going through a lot and we are not learning. Second is heart lens. Our child is going through a lot. No one is there to understand them. Your in-laws are, using negative words. Father is not giving time, or father is using negative word. You yourself is getting angry, irritated, frustrated, hitting, yelling at your child. Now, where that one child will go? Right? We're always putting lens on our eyes, but I want you to put lens on your heart, and I want you to understand the emotion behind the behavior. So how many of you are ready to put lens to your heart? Put HL in the chat box. Put HL in the chat box. Right? Because understand, you're yelling, hitting, shouting. When they are going outside, the teacher is also giving pressure, or the friends are giving pressure. When they go to grandparents, they are giving the pressure, or father is giving the pressure, friends are giving the pressure. Where will the child go? Right? And then they start to throw tantrums, and the moment they start to throw tantrums, you become more irritated, you become more frustrated, and you end up losing on your child. But instead of that, I want you to understand your child's emotions behind behavior. The moment you understand the emotions, everything is going to shift, and there is a process to do it. Right? You can do it by yourself, you can learn by yourself. And if you're planning to continue this journey, I am going to take you step by step, and I can give you a guarantee your child's behavior is going to change within 5, 10, 15, 30 days. And I can say this with so much of conviction now, because there's so many mothers who are experiencing this. And I'm also going to share the stories of all these mothers and even fathers. Yeah. And next, I want you to be love centric. So I want you to put I love my child in the chat box. It is I love my child. Because nothing can change your child, only your love can change your child. Your child don't want your money, your child don't want your real estate, your child don't want your shares, your child don't want your equities, your child don't want anything. Your child want your love and your time. But instead of all, rather than giving all these things, we're busy in giving them toys, activity books, falana, dhamkana, international travel experience, this experience, that experience. Your child don't even want this, because they're capable of doing all these things. What they want from you is love. So how many of you are ready to be love centric? Type LC in the chat box, that I am going to manage my child with love. I'm not going to manage with my child with anger, frustration, irritation. I'm not going to make my child suffer because of all the drama that is going around me. I'm not going to give attention to the toxic people. So if you're ready to be love centric, type LC in the chat box, that yes, I am ready to be love centric. Yeah, I know a lot of questions will come, and yeah, I just because there is so much to share, and I won't be able to answer everyone's question who is putting question in the chat box. And yeah, and I'm really sorry. I wish I could do that, because I cannot do that because there's so much to share. And if it is okay, if I'll first focus on the map, the road map, if it is okay, type okay in the chat box. Because if I'll keep answering the question, I will miss giving you all this valuable information which you are not going to get anywhere. Yes, thank you so much for your permission. So yes. So now how many of you feel that your child's emotional and physical development is important? Because now, just because we are unaware, just because we are giving them fast food, just because we are not emotionally present for our child, we are busy in our stress, anxiety, depression, or all the fights and dramas, we are not able to give 100% to our child. Right? The obesity rate is increasing. Your child is, getting multiple diseases at very small age. Right? And another important pillar is brain or mind development. So how many of you want to develop your child's brain? Type BD in the chat box, that is, I want to develop my child's brain. Yes, Rachna, thank you so much for that question. How can I transfer all these things if I don't know all these things? Definitely, you cannot transfer all these values to your child until and unless you don't learn. If you learn, I can give you a guarantee your child will be a different child. And I can give you a guarantee your child will perform 1000% in a right way, in a better way. Yeah. So now let's understand the challenges that we are facing because of which we are not able to develop our child's brain. So the first and most important challenge is screen time. How many of you are going through this? Type me in the chat box, right? There's so much distraction, so many gadgets, right? Because of which child's brain is not able to develop. Second challenge is learning delays. Child is not able to speak, child is not able to process fine motor skills or cognitive development, right? There's so many developmental delays in your child. Next is attention and focus difficulties. Child is not able to focus on anything. Child is not able to focus in their studies or whatever work they are doing. They are not able to focus because their brain is not supporting them. Right? Another challenge that you're facing, you might be facing with your child is sleep challenge. Your child is taking a lot of time to sleep, creating a lot of maze before sleep, throwing tantrums, don't want to sleep, a lot of things because of which you end up losing on your child. You end up hitting your child. You end up yelling at your child. Right? And another challenges you may face because of which you're not able to develop your child's brain is memory and processing speed issues. So how many of you are facing many of these challenges? Type many. And if you're facing some of these challenges, type some in the chat box, because I'm not saying you're facing all of these challenges. You might face all of these challenges. You might face none of these challenges. Yeah. Thank you so much for being honest. So now let's understand the root cause, right? So the root cause is unawareness. Parents are not unaware. Parents are unaware about the screen time, right? And now screen time has become the big issue. We easily give screen to our child. What will happen if our child will watch for 5 minutes? What will happen if my child will eat without, no, eat with screen for 5-10 minutes? But that 5 minutes become 10 minutes, 10 minutes become 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hour. And when it is time to study, your child is not ready to study. Your child is distracted. Your child is not able to focus. How many of you are understanding this? Type you for understanding in the chat box. And just because of unawareness of the parents, child is suffering. Right? If we will be aware, if we will be updated, if we will learn, everything is going to shift. My child is 4 years old and he don't watch any screen, zero screen time. Right? And I am a working mother. I am having 2 kids and still I am able to manage. Why? Because I know how to manage. I'm not saying that I am great and I am too extraordinary. I'm just a mother like you who wants to give a better life to my child. Now, just because I know better, I'm doing better. If you will know better, you can definitely do better. Right? So I want you to become aware that what is good for your child, what is not good for your child. Please do not keep procrastinating. I'll do it afterwards. I'll learn afterwards. Every single minute is important for your child's brain development because in second, millions of neural connection is happening. Right? And what is repeating again and again, that neural connections are staying and others are leaving their place. Right? Now, till 2 years, we gave a lot of love to our child. Oh, my baby, I love you so much. Your smile is too good. And the moment they started to have their own will, we started to become irritated. We started to label them. We started to call them stubborn. We started to call them irritated. Right? And the neural connection which was formed for love, it started to fade. And the neural connection started to form that, oh, my mom is so irritated. Oh, my mom gets so angry, gets angry so easily. Oh, my mom is always in a bad mood. Oh, my mom is going to scold me. Oh, my, if I throw a lot of tantrums, my mom is going to give screen to me. Right? So this is the root cause that parents are not aware that what is good for their child and what is not good for their, what is good and what is not good for their child. Next is peer pressure. There is so much pressure for your child, on your child. When they go outside, their friends are doing 100,000 things. And when they come home, you're not allowing it. Right? And just because of that peer pressure, they're becoming sandwich. Right? And now just because they are sandwiched, a lot of stress hormone, a lot of negative emotions is going inside their brain. They are not able to develop. Right? And next root cause is stress and overwhelm in parents. There is so much stress in parents right now. I want to give best education to my child. I want to build a bungalow. I want to buy a car. I want to do this. I want to do that. I want good life. I want to, my husband to change. I want my in-laws to change. I want my child to change. That's when my life is going to become jingalala. Your life is never going to become jingalala. This is life. Even God had so many problems. We are the human beings. How many of you agree? Type A for agree in the chat box. Type A for agree in the chat box. And because of the stress and overwhelm, we are not able to focus on our child's growth. We are not able to give the right direction to the child. We are not able to take their stress down because we ourselves is in so much stress. We ourselves is in so much anxiety and depression. How can we help our child? And next, we don't know any alternatives, right? We don't know what to do with our child if there is no screen, right? And even if you know, you sometimes you will, give those activities before the age. You will not do the age appropriate things, and then your child will feel bored. And when it is actual time to play that toy or that activity or that game, your child will already delete one activity. And oh, this is so boring. This is not fun, right? So you have to make a study a fun experience. Now, just because study is not a fun experience, your child is not feeling good. Your child don't want to study because your child knows that if I sit to study, my mom is going to come and she's going to nag at me like anything. So I don't want to study, right? So these are the root cause because of which child's brain is not developing. So how many of you are learning so far? If you are learning, type learning in the chat box. Type learning in the chat box. I'm going to do this quick check whether you're learning or not, because I've put my heart, my soul to design this roadmap. Yeah, thank you so much. Now let's get the formula that how to develop your child's brain. First, understand your child's emotional world. Your child is going through so much, right? Learning is not a fun experience for them, right? Because we have made learning a bad experience. The moment your child sits, teachers also ask them to write one page of A, one page of two, one page of three, right? There is so much pressure, right? And when they don't write properly, you give pressure. You should write properly. When I go to a parents teacher meeting, I listen to parents. You should improve your handwriting. Teacher was saying that you are not good at handwriting. Why can't you understand one thing? Next time you give attention to your handwriting. Why so much of pressure, right? 15 years from now, 16 years from now, 20 years from now, your child is definitely going to write properly. If you agree, type A for agree in the chat box. And just because there is no fun in learning, your child don't want to learn. And I don't know any child who don't wants to learn. I don't know any child who don't want to eat. They are not eating, they are not learning because we are not doing in the right way. We don't know how to do it in a right way, right? There is a monster with learnings. There is a screen. At our times there was screen, but the limit was too little. If you agree, type yes in the chat box, right? Now for us also, if we want to wake up early, if we want to do something, we decide that I am not going to watch too much of screen. I want to come out of this Instagram university, YouTube university, Facebook university, right? But we are not able to do that. So understand your child and how difficult it is for your child to come out of all this stress and this digital world. Now instead of understanding them, we again put pressure to our child. You're watching too much of screen. Why can't you study? You're always into the screen, right? And we need to understand that the competition and comparison between friends and teenagers, the teenagers and the friends are always comparing with each other, because of which their life is becoming difficult. Now let's say your child will come and your child will say that I want to I just want to do XYZ haircut, but you will not allow it because you don't feel that it is good. But now when they go out with their friend starts to laugh. Hey, hey, how is your hair? How you can't even cut your hairs in a right way. There is so much of pressure, so much of comparison, right? There is no one to understand them outside. There is no one to understand them at home. Then where the child will go? How many of you are ready to feel your child emotionally? If you're ready to feel, type feel in the chat box. And I want to be very honest. I don't want to be that coach that will say that, yeah, you are a very good parent. Yeah, definitely every parent is good parent. But just because we are not learning, just because we are unaware, we ourselves is hurting our child, right? So there is so much pressure on our child right now, and we parents add more pressure in their life. But our job is to remove that pressure, to neutralize that pressure by learning and by growing. Second is decode child's brain. You need to understand your child's brain. Understand your child is always vibrating on fun, joy, happiness, frequency. They understand when there is fun, they understand easily, they learn easily when there is happiness and joy. If you agree, type A for agree in the chat box. If you agree, type A for agree in the chat box. Now, what parents are doing? Parents have made everything very boring. We are checklist parent. My child have finished, my child have brushed the teeth, my child have packed, finished the tiffin box, finished the homework, finished the falana, dhamkana, all 100,000 things. And then we feel relaxed. Oh, now my day is good because my child have done all the activities that I wanted him to do or her to do. But your child don't want to do all these things in all these things because they love to enjoy. They don't think about what is going to happen 10 years after now. They don't think what is going to happen 15 years from now. They think, they feel that, am I enjoying this moment? Am I able to feel that happiness, joy in this moment? And if no, then they are not ready to learn because their logical brain shuts down and their amygdala, which is fear centers, get activated, because of which they are not ready to learn, right? So it's so important to understand that your child is always vibrating on love, joy, and happiness frequency now. And we parents are always vibrating on anxiety, depression, anger, frustration, husband not listening, in-laws not listening, this happened to me, that happened to me, child not listening, screen time. How many of you are smiling right now? Put smile in the chat box. I can say this with so much of guarantee and conviction because I have done all these things. I used to fight with my husband like anything till 4 a.m. Right? If I'm not able to sleep, you will also not sleep. I had made his life hell. And I love to be honest. I'm not like, I don't want to say that, my life was too good, my relationship was too good. No. Even I was having challenges, but the moment I changed, everything started to change. Right? So, and understand, when we don't understand their brain, the only thing remains is screen. When they go to screen, the experience become fun. If you agree, type A for agree in the chat box, right? Because screen is the one who is never going to yell at child. Screen is the one who is never going to hit the child. Screen is the one who is always going to give your child a dopamine release, which is happy hormone, which is feel good hormone, right? And at one end, you're yelling, hitting, shouting. Other end, your child is getting that dopamine release, the happy hormone. Now you take that screen back from your child, and then your child gets irritated and frustrated because there is no dopamine release from any other activities. Right? Now understand your child's condition right now. Your child wants to study, your child wants to learn, your child wants to do so many things, but they are not able to do because they are not able to focus. Their brain is not supporting. Their brain is always giving a message that no dopamine release, no dopamine release, no happy hormone, go watch screen, go watch screen. And other end, you snatch the screen. But let me be honest, I love to be honest, that we were the first, or our in-laws were first, who gave screen to our child. If you agree, type A for agree in the chat box. Type A for agree in the chat box. Yeah, how would you change? By learning. Yeah. So now we don't have any right to blame our child that you watch too much screen, right? And now we need to do our age appropriate things. What is working? What works for toddler is not going to work for teenager. But what we do now, just because we have saw some XYZ post on Instagram, we start to apply that on our child. It's not going to work. Now I'll give you one simple example. Now, one mother in my community said that, Surbi, you say that no sugar, no salt, no chocolate to the child, right? And then I argue with, I told my family members, I educated them, I took stand. There are a lot of fights. This happens when we learn from all these free universities, right? When the mother joined and when she asked the question for the first time, the moment she joined, I told her that what works for A child is not going to work for B child. right? And now the one who is living in a joint family, we cannot set this chocolate and all these boundaries. If we will set, we are going to create mess in our life, in our child's life. How many of you are experiencing this? Type E for experiencing in the chat box. So no one strategy is fixed to that child. For that reason, you need to learn from a right source, right? So how many of you feel that brain development of your child is important? If you feel, type F for feel in the chat box. And last important pillar and most important pillar of your child's brain development is relationship development. Yeah. How many of you are excited to, and how many of you want to improve your relationship with your husband and with your in-laws? If you want, and if with your child, type me in the chat box. Type me in the chat box. Yeah. And I can give you a guarantee, the mothers who are on the verge of divorce, they have not given the divorce to their husband. They have started to have good relationship with their husband. They have started to change their relationship with their in-laws. The in-laws have started to change. The child have started to change. Not because I helped, but because they learned through a system, right? So the relationship development, let's understand the challenge. The challenge, first challenge, that is, we are not able to set boundaries to our child. So if we want to set boundaries, we are not able to set any boundaries to our child. If you're going through this, type me in the chat box, right? Second challenge is pleasing everyone. We are saying yes to everyone. Yes, I'll do this. Yes, I'll do that. I'll do everything. And then we feel burnout. Then we feel low of energy, right? And then husband not supporting, in-laws not cooperating, and self-development. There is no growth, no self-development. How many of you are going through many of these challenges? Type many. If you're going through some of these challenges, type some in the chat box. Yeah. Now let's understand the root cause of these challenges. So the root cause of this challenge is nothing but not setting right boundaries, right? You're not setting boundaries from the beginning itself. You say yes, 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 and then when you feel burnout, then you burst, and then everyone feel that you're bad, you're not good. Now you have done 99 good things for those people, but just because you burst, just because you stopped saying yes, they started to change and they started to label and blame you. But what if you would have learned and set the boundaries from beginning itself, right? Second root cause is difficulty in saying no, right? Initially, we say yes to everything. Do this, yes. Cook 3 things, yes. Cook 10 things, yes. Right? Can you give your time and leave all your important things? Yes. Right? And just because we are saying yes, 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 there is strange, there is, I can say difference in relationship. If this is making sense, put MS in the chat box. Type MS in the chat box. And next, expecting them to change. What we are doing? We are sitting here and thinking that when my mother-in-law will change, my life is going to become jhingalala. When my husband will come and support me, I am going to be happy. I am going to feel too good. When my child will come and listen to me, my life is going to become good. But understand one thing. It's so difficult to change ourselves. If you agree, type yes in the chat box. It's so difficult to change ourselves. How can we sit here and expect that everyone will change for us? No one is going to change until and unless you change your energy, until and unless you learn how to communicate with them, right? I know that they are at fault. They are, it's their fault. But understand, if we'll sit here and keep working on their faults, nothing is going to work. Instead, we'll take 100% responsibility of our life, and we are going to focus on our life, our child's life, and our family's life, right? So now let's understand how to work on this, right? So the first, learn to say no. Please do not keep anyone in the confusion. Say straight no if you feel, and don't say no every time or whenever you feel no. Because we are family, we need to live together, we need to be together, because that's how the family are growing. It's not like, only you are compromising. Other family members are also compromising with you. And that's the reason it's called family. The second way is focus on your growth. There will be 100,000 people who is going to pull you down, who is going to taunt you, who is going to blame you. But I want you to focus on your and your child's growth. Right? Next, learn to set boundaries. This is a big process that I teach to my community members, but I want you to learn to set boundaries. That this is acceptable, this is not acceptable. And I don't want you to fight. I don't want you to create any mess, because that mess is going to not help your child. Right? And now next is improve your self-esteem. And how you can improve by your self-esteem? By learning, by being updated. Because understand, when other people will come to know about you, when your energy will shift, when you will go and sit, and when other people will learn from you, your family member is all is going to understand you, is going to support you, is going to respect you. But that to happen, first you'll have to work and start with yourself, right? And because of all this relationship problem, your child is not able to focus. And I'll give you one simple example. Let's say you had fight with your husband. Can you concentrate in your work? If you can concentrate in your work, type yes in the chat box, that yes, I can concentrate. If no, then type no in the chat box. I cannot concentrate when I had, when I used to have arguments with my husband. No, it was so difficult. All day long, I used to think all those things, crying, blaming, shaming, complaining, cursing, right? And now, after all these fights, arguments, shouting, yelling, how can you expect from your child that your child will study well? Because when fight happens, stress hormone releases in your body. And your child is also human being. Your child's body also releases the stress hormone, which is cortisol, when fights are going around. Right? And when we don't know how to manage our relationship, when we don't know how to come out of all these things, we are just making our own life miserable, and we are ending up losing on our child. Right? So how many of you feel that these four pillars are important for child's brain development? If you feel, type feel in the chat box. And yes, definitely you're going to get your free gift towards the end. So I want you to stay till the end. And how many of you want to be a impactful, how many of you want to do a impactful parenting? Where you want to improve yourself, where you want to improve your child's emotional and physical development, where you want to improve your child's brain development, and also relationship development. If you want to do impactful parenting, type IP in the chat box. Type IP in the chat box. That is, I want to do the impactful parenting. Yeah. Thank you so much for all the mothers who are putting IP. It really shows that your child is much more important than any other things. Yeah. Thank you so much. So now, are you ready for extra bonus? If you are ready, type R for ready in the chat box. And this bonus will give you a guarantee and will give you a message should you continue this journey or not. Yeah. So I want you to sit straight and close your eyes. Yeah. So please sit straight. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath in and breathe out. So even if you're joining late, don't worry, you just focus here. Otherwise, you'll also miss out on this. Sit straight, close your eyes, take a deep breath in and breathe out. Take a deep breath in and breathe out. And now, I want you to visualize your child in front of you. Your child's face, eyes, expressions. And now, I want you to visualize all the behavior that you did with your child so far. Whether you pushed your child, whether you yelled at your child, whether you hit your child, whether you compared your child or you abused your child, no matter what your behavior was, I just want you to go back to that behavior and just remind everything to yourself. And now, while doing this behavior, I just want you to see your child's expression. How is your child's expression? Is your child crying or scared or irritated or angry or is suppressing? I just want you to feel your child's emotion. If you feel like crying, please cry. Do not suppress your emotions. I want you to be in your child's shoes and I want you to feel your child's emotional, that how your child feels when you yell at your child, when you hit your child, when you don't parent your child in a better way, when you give so much stress to your child because of the family environment. And now I want you to repeat these things with me, the sentences with me. I'm sorry, my child, for hurting you. I'm sorry, my child, for pushing you, hitting you, removing my frustration on you. I'm sorry, my child. I know you don't deserve this. Please forgive me for my behavior. Please forgive me for all wrong things I've done with you. Please forgive me for not loving you, for not supporting you. Please forgive me for all the stress that I have given to you. Thank you so much, my child. Even after hitting you, yelling at you, comparing you, you still came back to me, hugged me, kissed me, gave unconditional love. Thank you so much for coming into my life. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to become a mother. I love you, my child, if you listen to me. I love you, my child, if you don't listen to me. I love you, and I promise I'll do my best. I will learn. I'll not do any experiments, and I will be there for you no matter what. Now just see your child's expression, smile, happy face. Now just visualize your child running towards you and hugged you tightly and whispered in your ears, I love you, mom, and thank you so much for learning. I love you, mom, for who you are. I love you, and I'm always here to love you. Now you want to allow your child to go, but you want to be in this energy. You want to hug your child. You don't want to leave your child, but still you allow, and you open your eyes with big smile on your face. So please put one word in the chat box. How are you feeling in this moment? How are you feeling? Put one word in the chat box. Yeah. Calm, happy, relaxed, great, excited, relaxed, guilty, crying, feeling good and better, cried. Yes, thank you so much for participating, because you're feeling all these things because you participated, and you need to feel all these things because it's your child, your life, and your relationship. Right now, how many of you are ready to move forward? If you're ready, type R for ready in the chat box. Now I'm going to give you an opportunity to continue this journey with me, but there is a quick check. How many of you feel that there is a lot more to learn when it comes when it comes to learning about parenting? If you feel there is a lot more to learn, type more in the chat box, because this information is not enough. There is so much to learn. I have only got the roadmap, but I want to go into deep. I want to learn each and everything so that I can do better for my child. Second, how many of you feel that if I'll not learn, I am going to suffer and my child is going to suffer? If you feel that, I feel in the chat box. I feel in the chat box that yes, I feel this. Yeah, but I just want to say, very clearly, this community is not for everyone. This community I've created only for mothers or even fathers who wants to do better for themselves and their child, who are serious enough to change their behavior and their child's behavior. If you're not serious, if you're in 10% doubt, 20% doubt, 50% doubt, this community is not for you. I don't want you to continue this journey with me. But if you're serious enough, if you really want to do better for yourself, your child, if you want to develop your child's brain, then this community is for you. And today I'm going to do super, super, super special things which I have not done before. There will be a small fee, but this small fee is going to be a no-brainer for you. Right? So if you are ready, super ready, type SR for super ready in the chat box. And I just want to clear one more thing. You just have to give 30 minutes of your time every single day, not more than that. Second, you can learn from anywhere, whether you're working mother, whether you're homemaker, whether you're too busy. You can learn from everywhere, anywhere, because first I used to do this live classes. Now I've recorded everything because I know me myself, I'm a mother and I understand how busy life gets. So you can watch the videos while cooking, you can watch the videos while putting your child to sleep, you can watch the video while you're traveling to your work. How many of you feel this is wow? Type wow in the chat box, and videos will be same like the way I'm teaching you right now. Yeah, I'm also going to show you how the videos are going to be. Yeah, if you feel this is wow, type wow in the chat box. So yes, thank you so much. And this will be a recorded class. I'm not going to give you any books because I feel that in book there is no energy, because there are so many books on parenting and nothing is changing. No, our life is not changing. For that reason, I've taken a lot of efforts, recorded a video, edited it, and then uploaded in my learning management system. Right? So yes, thank you so much for all the vows. So you will get pre-recorded courses. You just have to give 30 minutes of commitment and you'll not get any hard copy.